On iRadio with me, Madrama James, and Darlington Moses, together with the producer of this show, Obashoku Shagawa. In this second hour, we shall also shift our focus into another big and better chapter coming to that South Sudan. As Juba prepare to host the 20th Nile Day celebration this week, we are looking at a future where the Nile does not just give us water, but affordable electricity too. Guests that will be joining me live in the studio right here, expert one is engineer Dr. Isaac Alwek, regional coordinator, and EPSA, and engineer Jacob Manyuam Deng, a power project manager. They will be joining me shortly right here in the studio. But first, let's have this quick break. When we bounce back, that's when we shall keep the conversation going.
في وسط شعب اللي بتحتاج أصواتها إنها تستمع، فيو بيولد الأمل من خلال المعلومات. آي راديو هو صوت اليوم، موجود في 8 مدن: جوبا، يامبيو، واو، ملكال، بور، توري، أويل ورن. أكثر من 5 ملايين مستمع كل يوم بيعتمدوا علينا، بيشغلوا جهاز راديو بتاعهم عشان يفتشوا عن الحقيقة، العدالة والتقدم. ما وراء موجاتنا الإذاعية أكثر من 80 مليون شخص حول العالم بيتواصلوا مع آي راديو عبر الإنترنت وبيحافظوا على آمال جنوب السودان حية.
You have just congratulated the MPs for a happy new year.
That we are resuming the planning for holding an inclusive political dialogue.
إحنا أكثر من مجرد راديو، إحنا نبض الأمة، صوت للشعب، منارة للحقيقة، 8 في 1 شبكة موحدة بتضم أصوات الشعب جنوب السودان. آي راديو موثوق، مرتبط، متمكن. إحنا عينك على جنوب السودان.
In a nation where voices need to be heard, where hope is born through information, iRadio is today's voice in 8 cities: Juba, Yambio, Wau, Malakal, Bor, Torit, Awil, and Renk. Over 5 million listeners depend on us every day, turning on their radios for truth, justice, and progress. And beyond our airwaves, over 80 million online people across the world connect with iRadio, keeping South Sudan's hopes alive.
You have just congratulated the MPs for a happy new year.
That we are resuming the planning for holding an inclusive political dialogue.
We are more than a radio. We are the heartbeat of a nation, a voice for the people, a beacon of truth, an 8-in-1 network uniting South Sudan's voices. iRadio, trusted, connected, empowered.
في محل بتستهيك تكون فيه خليك مع اي راديو انا تكون في جنوب السودان. خليك هنا في اي راديو انا تكون في جنوب السودان.
Real people, real stories, real music, real radio. This is iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
All right, right about now I'm thrilled to tell you that I'm joined live in the studio by engineer Jacob Manyuam Deng, who is the Power Program Officer and Joint Project Coordinator. And short while, we will have, of course, Engineer Dr. Isaac, who is the Regional Coordinator, Nile SAP, very soon in the studio. So first and foremost, I would like to say thank you so much, Engineer Jacob, for coming. And when we talked about that, this particular initiative, what are we referring to when we talked about, the issues related to power and issues related to that Nile not necessarily giving us water, but power too? What are we referring to? Plus the upcoming event this week. Welcome.
Thank you so much,
James.
iRadio. I would want to specifically talk about the project itself that is being implemented by the Nile Basin. Nile Basin is an initiative of the 10 countries that was conceived in 1999, and it has 2 subsidiary action programs. One is in Addis, one is in Kigali, and we have the secretariat that is based in Entebbe. The one that is responsible for the investment is the 2 investment wings. This is ENTRO and NELSAP. NELSAP stands for Nile Equatorial Lake Subsidiary Action Programs. It is based in Kigali. And NELSAP is tasked with the activities that involves water and power. So the Nile Basin Initiatives handles power programs, and it also handles the water resources management and development. Therefore, as we could speak today online, we are in Juba to celebrate the Nile Day, and we conduct our governance that we always do quarterly, and we also do yearly, the Nile Day celebration. This is why we are here, and we are also here to mention about the product of the water, and that is power that is coming from the hydro, and hydro is transmitted with other energy mix across the countries of the Nile Basin. Thank you.
Well, and we learned that there will be also a celebration of that Nile Day in Juba. Where, when are we expecting all this to unfold?
Yes, thank you so much. We are in Juba, all of us, the centers that are running the programs, that is NileSec, NELSAP, and ENTRO. We are all in Juba. And also the tax, our governance, the technical advisory committees, plus our ministers who are coming soon. We are all going to be in Juba here. And the reportings on the governance, on the activities to our governance will be closed by around Friday, where the ministerial sessions are going to be conducted. And Nile Day celebration will be celebrated on the 22nd of this month, February. That is Sunday in Juba. And there'll be some marches. People walk to celebrate the Nile.
Someone will say the country is going through financial crisis. What is the basic or importance of having this Nile Day celebration?
The financial crisis, but there's a commitment also from the countries that are owning the institution that is the Nile Basin Initiatives. There are some countries that are actually paying their monthly subscription, their yearly subscription, and other countries have defaulted. But there is progress in the institution. So it doesn't mean that if there is some financial crisis, the institution is dying. So the institution is still being sustained. And also another thing that is happening is we do the investment, we do the project proposal, we do the program development, and so we are getting funding from the World Bank, Africa Development Bank, KfW, and most of the development partners, especially the investment wing, in addition to the country's subscription that is paid yearly.
How much is South Sudan paying?
South Sudan is supposed to pay 311,000 per year, and by the promise that has been made by the South Sudan Ministry of Water Resources and Irrigation, which is our focal ministry, they are promised to pay 1 year out of this subscription.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, Engineer Jacob, the goal is again to cut electricity costs by 75%. How exactly does importing hydropower from Uganda makes it that much cheaper for the average family? In Juba, people are saying electricity is only for VIPs.
Thank you. It's quite high. The price is very high for electricity in Juba. Of course, I am part of the society. I'm a South Sudanese, and I left from here when the Israel investment had taken place in Juba, and I know the tariff rates that Israel is selling electricity power to the citizens. And it's not only the hydro that is being imported from Uganda. We have the energy mix that is in Uganda, which hydro has the higher percentage. And when a country has a surplus, they are actually able to dissipate power to another country that has the deficiency. South Sudan has no power, and so it's the reason why the initiative to develop the SUPIP came into being. SUPIP stands for South Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project. And so when you bring the cheaper energy, the renewable energy in most cases are cheaper than the thermal, which is a components of diesel
Solar.
and coal and all that. So right now in South Sudan we have the diesel fired generation, which is very expensive. And so when we import power from Uganda, we will have the cheaper energy. And so the tariff rates that are standing at 0.42 in Juba will reduce considerably. And most of the people have been asking, why are we importing power from...
Exactly, that's even my next question.
Yet
we have a fuller here.
Yet we have the potential. We have over 2,000 hydro potential along the Nile in eastern Equatoria to central Equatoria here. This high abundant power is not yet developed. We have not initiated the development. Even one has not been developed since 2005. The time we got our independence. And so we cannot just sit there and wait. We must have short-term and medium-term and long-term programs as a country. So we will import power for now, and the same transmission line that is going to be constructed, we will use it later when we develop our hydro potential to even trade with the region. And so it is essential. Even if we have the hydro potential, we have not developed, we should actually import from Uganda for now.
Engineer Jacob, like you said, we have the hydro potential, and at the moment South Sudan is also paying for the subscription or membership fee, and our own initiative have not yet started. Like just you said, when are we starting all this? And again, resources are going
in the country, within the country. There are national projects that need to be initiated by the country. One of them is actually the Fula Grand Fula, which is a very huge potential, up to about 1,080 megawatts. And we have a number of them up to Juba Barrage, that is about 5 kilometers from the center of Juba. These hydro potentials have not yet been developed. These initiatives at the national level have not yet been developed. And the region is integrating. We are integrating the region. There are a lot of networks that are connecting the countries in which the resource sharing is happening. As we actually contribute, the resources are going, as you said, we are also going to benefit. This is one of the benefits that is going to come out of our contribution as a member state of the Nile Basin countries. So it is not going at a waste. And as much as we will be contributing as a country, we will also benefit from the cooperation. And this is one of them, plus others. Thank you.
Engineer Jacob Isaac Deng, via that's our Facebook page, is asking that since 2011 to 2026, which is 11 years down the road, no electric dam built. When will South Sudan be independent to have its own power dam instead of using foreign companies and even imported powers?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, this is not one thing I might need to correct him. It's not a foreign company. This is actually the South Sudan itself that is importing power from Uganda. The executing agency is South Sudan Electricity Corporation, and the executing agency on the side of Uganda is Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited. The role of NBI is the coordination role, because it is a transboundary project So you get a neutral body that does the coordination and bring the countries together and implement the project on behalf of the countries. It is true we have our abundant resources from 2005, not even 2011. Yes, from 2005 up to now. It's a number of years. But then why we have not started developing our hydro resources? It's a national docket that is supposed to be able to answer this, because it's our role, and actually we need power, all of us. And actually, when I read the documents, I see it is a priority of the Ministry of Energy and Dams and the South Sudan Electricity Corporation to develop even one hydro potential. But mark you, as we develop one hydro potential, maybe 500 megawatt will take about 6 to 7 years. And this project now, the SUPIP, is going to take 5 years. Now we have remained with only 3 years to implement. You know, the procurement takes almost 2 years, and then the implementation takes 3 years. Right now procurement is almost done, and we are going to start the implementation of the same project. And so the reason why we have not developed one hydro resource in South Sudan is actually a question that is going to the national docket, the Ministry of Energy and Dams, and they have the plan. Based on the national plan, they have the plan to start developing even one, because we cannot depend on diesel. Diesel is quite expensive, and it will take us very long to suffer. And so, as we also foresee that the hydro development will take longer period, we must also start importing power for now, which is going to be cheaper as we prepare to develop our hydro potential resources.
Engineer Jacob, I've talked to some of our concerned citizens in the country about power importation initiative in the country, but they are saying South Sudan or South Sudanese, they are very good at talking and coming up with also a comprehensive plan, but at the end of the day, implementation of all this is very difficult. So what's the good news about this particular project?
The good news about this project is that the way the implementation modalities have been developed, they are complicated to an extent that you are assured of quality and you are assured of a completion based on the timeline set. Because the stakeholders are the donors, who are actually the EU, the Africa Development Bank, and the countries and the region. This is unlike other projects in which we could find difficulties in the process during the implementation process. What makes people have issues with the projects, which is beyond anybody's control, are like the force majeure. If the force majeure comes, like what happened in 2016, 2013, this affected most of the number of projects in South Sudan, and this is why most of the mega projects, that is national backbone infrastructure in terms of the grids, have not been implemented. Such a thing that happens, like insecurity in our country and all this, they always affect the projects. But this project now is being actually structured in a way that all stakeholders would want to see the roles that is assigned to it, be it resource provision, be it the implementation, be it the coordination, or any other activity that is assigned to each entity that is part of this structure is going to be achieved. So this is an assurance that I can give to people that as in the NBI, we have implemented complex projects before, like the hydropower plan that have been implemented in the region, and they have been implemented efficiently. And another assurance is that when a neutral body is assigned to the project, it becomes easy for the project to be implemented, because that is the only role that the neutral body has. The countries have their different other national priorities. Like Uganda has their own priorities, South Sudan have their own priorities. But if the neutral body is assigned to the project, like the way NBI is assigned to implement these projects, it is the main task they are supposed to implement. This is an assurance. Unless another thing that may come, that is beyond their control, comes up, that one will be seen by everybody else. But otherwise, there's an assurance this time that we talk as we work. Like when we are in South Sudan, we brief the population, we brief Uganda when we are there, so that they know where we are and where we are going in this project. And this project is a life-saving project for the country. because the cheaper energy, you cannot just get it. You must develop a cheaper energy source for you to get it. Uganda has developed a lot of hydro potential. They have other sources of energy like solar. They have many other sources of energy. So there's an abundant energy mix that we can tap for now as we prepare to develop our hydro potential resources. We will benefit the region at the end of the day as well. Thank you.
Let me give you an example. The poles installation of electricity done in Nimule before even 2023, but up to now, people are still hoping for that power distributions within their residential areas. And we have talked to some other key personnel that promising that power will be even before Christmas up to date. Now, with this own initiative, how far have you people gone? Is it 10%, 20%, 30%, and where exactly?
Thank you. You know, something I want to differentiate, and I want to make it clear to the public, because I see iRadio has a wider coverage.
Sure.
Something I want to make it clear, which is being mixed. You know, there are two projects that are coming from Uganda. There's border electrification projects. That is a low voltage distribution that is being extended to Nimili. This one is different.
And hopefully to Kaya as well.
And to Kaya and even to Kajokeji. They are going to extend it to these areas. This is a distribution systems at the level of 33 kV. It is the one that is coming to Numili. This is different project. This project called SUPIP, South Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project, is a high voltage power line up to 400 kV. It's very high voltage. So it is leaving actually from Bibia up to Juba, the one that has the pylons, very high towers, to come to Juba. When it comes to Juba, we will radiate it to other part of South Sudan from the compartment of the substation that is going to be established in Gumbo, Nesitu. This one will go to Western Barakazal, it will go up to Western Equatoria, Jongle, and many other places in the country. So even if we do not have this power from Uganda at the later stage, we can use these lines that are going to be developed to actually form part of our national grid, which is very important. We have zero now. So these two projects, the one in Numili that is stepped down in Numili now, is called border electrification projects. This project has issues that are going to come up later when the load in Numili, Kajokeji increases. There will be voltage drops, and so now that we are going to have a substation in BBA, this one will be reinforced. This project that is coming up now, and so we will have 133 kV to actually boost these distribution systems, so that you have switching station where you will boost it and it will work efficiently. The fire it has reached now, it is the SEC that is implementing it, South Sudan Electricity Corporation. It is not being done by the region or something. It's actually a contract, power trade, that is signed between Uganda Utility and South Sudan Electricity Corporation to supply these towns, the border towns. So that one is called Border Electrification Project, which is different from South Sudan Uganda Power Interconnection Project. And this is the difference, and that is the far it has reached. Actually, when I visited Nimili 2 months ago, I found them, they are terminating the transformers. They are actually extending power to the residential areas and even to the business areas. And so I think they could be very near now to commission this project. But this project, I'm not part of it. We are part of the SUPIP.
SUPIP.
Thank you.
And in summary, SUPIP has not, started any construction, because I was in Kampala. I passed via Bibia, Nimule to Juba just last week, and I haven't seen anything. That's why I asked.
Thank you. You are well informed as well. There's no construction yet that has started. We are actually at the stage of procurement. We have already requested the bank for a no objection to send us a no objection for the technical evaluation for the supervision and management consultants, which will be able to recruit together with us the EPC contractor. EPC stands for engineering, construction, EPC contractor. engineering, procurement, construction contractor. This contractor, we are anticipating a recruitment of the same by the end of the year, around September to October, after we will have actually secured the supervision consultant. You are right, construction has not yet started. It will be done by the EPC contractor.
All right.
Thank you.
I learned that the project involve internet wire. Can you explain the OPGW fiber optic component? Does it mean internet will also become cheaper because of these power lines?
Yes, optic ground wire. It is actually a component of the transmission line in most countries. You embed, it's called fiber optic cable. You put it on top of the pylon. Because right now I have seen the way they have put it down.
Others, even the poles are burning.
Yes, so the way Muya did, and also this one called the other internet company that came the other day. They also put the underground cable. That one can also be sustainable, but the most durable one will be actually embedding it in the design of the pylon, in the design of the towers, in the design of the transmission lines. So when you put it on top, it will be easier. You know, the nearer the fiber optics to the country, the cheaper the internet services are. So we are planning to have it as part of the design, so that we have the fiber optics on top of the towers.
From Nimule to Juba, down the line, there are people and their land also. Now let's talk briefly about over 1,100 people along this line. Will there be compensation to these individuals for the damage caused to their land, and as well fair treatment with the dignity to them?
It's a good question. It's a good question, and this is one of the questions as implementers we always hide to say what it is that is going to happen, because we have always been having challenges based on the regional projects we've implemented before. People when they take it from the media, like we're speaking now, they go and do the construction on the lines. They go and put in the line route a structure
just to tap some compensation.
And then later on they say, no, you have not done the compensation to us. But good enough, we've already marked. We did the detailed feasibility studies. We did a survey and valuation of assets along the line corridor. We've been going to Melejo, Mogali area, Mugwi. We know where the line is passing, and we know the assets that are on the line route. These ones are recorded for the future consideration. When the project starts implementation, it starts with the RAP, Resettlement Action Plan, which is part of the detailed feasibility studies. And so this one will be actually considered. We have the RAP on the side of Uganda. We also have the RAP on the side of South Sudan. And implementation of it will involve the countries. It is done by the countries. And good enough is part of the loan, and it's also part of the grant on the side of South Sudan. So we'll see how it is done. But we have the international standards on how these things are done.
At the start of this very discussion, you said the power is from Bibia to Juba. Now, why did you people conducted, visibility studies in Melejo, which is again far east of Bibia, and even Magui?
The main issue on the side of, you've asked a very important question. During the discussion, when we discussed the detailed feasibility studies, the line route is normally discussed. On the Uganda side, issues of compensation are very tricky. They are not like the way they are on our side on South Sudan. And so, Bibia, we had to divert the line because of the density of the population.
Around Elegu and Bibia to Nimule.
Between Elegu, between Bibia and Nimule. So the UETCL say that this one will be difficult because they have implemented a number of projects before. It is based on experience. And that's why it went through Lamoa, and then it came to this side of Melejo. For us, it is not very far because it will actually liberate the area. It is not very far because it's about 12 kilometers from Nimili town. So if it crosses that route, it is good. And then we are also near the game park when it comes to that side. So we go that way, and then we come back to AP10, the Ango Tower. It is up to AP10 across Echwa. and then it comes back to the main international road. Then it moves along the line road. So the reason why you see it diverted like that is actually the population, the settlement of the people. Number two is the game reserve, the national game park. You see even behind the mayor's office in Nimili, you see the animal, the lions,
those areas of rare residential
yes,
areas.
I mean the elephants, they also pass on that area. So we did what is called BAP, Biodiversity Action Plan. We have also conducted it. And so this one is a portion that was demanded by EU, because they are the ones actually bring 50 million grant. And so they wanted livestock and other wildlife not to be affected. And so this is the main reason. That's why you see it passing through River Ashwa.
Thank you, dear listener. If in case you have just joined us, you're listening to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James, and we are talking about that Nile SAP, and I'm blessed to be joined by Engineer Jacob Mayom. And if in case you have a question or comment, do not hesitate to drop it via that's our comment section on Facebook page, or call us live or by dialing that's our studio line. But first, let's have this quick break. When we come back, that's when I will be going through some of your messages. You send them so far so good via our Facebook page.
For news and the music, keep it iRadio.
It's a Baghdad Diamond Wenisuma iRadio ala nimrata telefon 0911-986-986 au itabirese risala ala nimra 0913-986-986.
Well, before I receive your calls, text coming in from Red Wanjang is watching us live from Jebel here in Juba, away from that Ulinga Abu Joshua. Yes, that Yellow Eye Radio Plaza listeners of Eye Radio, not forgetting regular callers, Facebook commenters, Mulinga Abu Joshua, watching the show live from that Wow Western Bar Al Khazali State. Thank you so much. And then Wanjang again is saying, Yellow Madrama James, why do we build electricity dam? Why don't we build electricity dam for ourselves instead of going to Uganda and import power from there, which is to him a waste of resources? Engineer is right here to answer that particular question. And Joseph, thank you so much for raising that concern. And but first, let me take first caller right here. Hi, Radio. Ustaz Atul Fuk.
Absolutely. Kevita.
Mabatal Zoli.
Tamaman.
Naam.
أنا مسؤول من هذا القاعدين في الاستديو.
شكرا انجينير جاكوب.
اوكي يلا المدرمة كله أجار ياو نزل قاعدين بولن فوقه والناس الشغالين زي الناس بتاعنا ده والناس الموجودين بيجي في الاستديو بيقولوا لنا قاعدين نمشي في البلان بي لأنه كملنا بلان ايه، لكن فضل البلان بي وبلان بي ما فوقه نجاح. هل عليكم جاي عشان يكون البلان بي يكون نجاح عشان ناخدوا البلان بي ده فوق حاجة سمي نعرف يا طريقة عشان يكون هنا نعرفين البلان بي ده تماما عشان انتم قاعدين في الاستديو ده يا هو البابليك سبيكر عشان ناخدوا كيف يا طريقة. نمرة 2 على حاجة بقول أننا دايرين نعملوا كده دايرين نسيبوا يا أخوانا انتم أننا جنوبين خليه يشيل حاجة في الأكشن عشان الأكشن ده أفضل من حاجة عشان يكون الدولة بتاعنا زي الدين فاسة الآن هذا الدين فاسة تماما، لكن هنا دايرين نعمل الدولة بتاعنا زي دايرين عشان الدولة فوقه accountability أكون دولة يا الدولة المستمر وكون دولة بعدين دولة النجاح للشعب وللكمان للحكومة الحاكمة البلد. لكن الآن على حاجة على مرودة يا طريقة يكون رسمي، لأن الطريقات كلهم فوقه زبزبة. الزبزبة ده نشيله بكيف؟ أننا دارين نشوف سولوشن، نلقى سولوشن يا طريقة.
شكرا أستاذ الفوق وسط مشاركة وسؤال. أنا كده سؤال بتاعك في محله وإنجينير جاكو معي في داخل الاستوديو بجواب سؤال بتاعك بعد شوية. A question coming in from Joseph Bith, who said that what happened to Ethiopia South Sudan electricity deal, knowing that Ethiopia has the cheapest electricity rate in the region. Engineer is right here to answer that particular question as well. We are discussing about a massive a power project, which is 260 million project connecting South Sudan and Uganda right here, power grid. What's your question to engineer right here? Hi radio.
Hi.
Naam.
Marhaba.
Mono wa min wen?
Ay ma pilit ni la mungaba.
Gadem.
Aywa fa swal bitai lena sal fi studio. Kaba na jat kulu al kan gamulo be jata al gala ni na bamulo. Kan na se abin junubde ma fi karabatana al galili sa gamulo fi junubde. Fa ajal kan gali yamulo lazim yamul nafsu lakin kullu asa ajata limun gamul do umma da naje yala zola al yumdak bu kelima je gala yana bamul ana bamul de digo za to biga ma fi kati de tane o biga fi tijata ne le nasu bi saji ajal batal ne haja al kwes tabani kan salam ya ona su gonu fu klal kali na samun bir bu ko nakse lakin ajal giji muni mel tane ita barab kebri fere benefit bito ala gitala menena awumone mikin ma bagdere dakala aje de fi junubi ni be hagega yalla al bagdere amulude be atasika fa aja al dera amulu kela amulu e tenana kuli yar fa interi fa ya ni na amulaje fa jar be kidi de ya kulu junubi ga no ajata alimon gamul de mana fa de kula ajata ma ganaje de be de kabasa
naam shukran inshallah engineer fi dakhil studio. Instead of talking maybe a proposal project, why are we not really seeing some of these practical projects happening right away instead of us talking about iRadio? Yes, sir. Marhaba khuna Joseph Khonyi.
Ana basto ita wana basto kaman depan dekana jere na fi studio.
Naam.
Ya kemudian ya syara lena hajar muhim sih khasran dengan beda kaharaba. Al kaharaba ta bono ya Medina. Medina, a city without electricity, or begin kano is like heaven without light. Taban ya ni asan bukun kaman galle heaven derlo nur wala asan malaikat dengan bayan itu.
Naam.
So ana bikin galle anna we defend fi outside countries for kulu haya kan in terms of medication na defend fi outside country kan in terms of asi ayut kitin na defend hatta kahraban na defend fi outside countries o rabbana magdache banna o di bahar yao di kore na bas na gambilo na har maran na mamul tanna ya da sola na ngumda amolo nazmang mangale der amolo tabo no moru anna jema siri janna bas moru mangal hadiran na de Egyptian government galan na kanam mini bas e bomonna
naam tep soal bitak shunu le engineer naam
so ana dia ta do gale ya engineer lakadi mitel annabi defend bas le outside country sulu ma zaman deran di mawai dapat kalau kita Ethiopia deh, mayam dah Egypt yang kau memang haji nas Ethiopia, gala jadi karena mono bahasir aku mada Ethiopia mola jadi, lalu bebeta sih, mami jual baju tu fawo. Soal lakan weekend, hatta kaharaba, ambil di defense fi outside country, mana mamu tanah kan kiat, bagi countries kamang kena juru minanna,
Shukran, Ustaz Joseph Khonyi min Lobonok. Still on our Facebook page, Kushi Ben is saying, Yellow Madrama James, Kushi Ben from Wow Town. This question is going to Engineer Jacob. Why Uganda? Are we importing power from there? Not Fuller. And what will happen to Isra Power Company? And I don't know whether this project will equally benefit people of that Juba and Nimule at the same time. How about other state? What does it mean by, again, regional integration, and what contribution is this going to have to the development of East Africa? Let me talk to Tolfolk and then invite also my long-awaited guest in the studio right here. Hi, Radio.
رجعت الثاني
نعم نعم
هل في شارع الواحد قاعدين نسمع الإداء الكهرباء وصل في المدينة النملي، ويلا هسه في جوبا لأنه في بعض المناطق الكهرباء ما شغال فوقه. هل نزل بعرفوا الكهرباء ده يعني يا طريقة عشان يكون يصلحوه وبعدين عشان أنا ما يوم الكلام أنا ما شايف المهندسين بمشي وراه بتاع العمودات العمود الواقفين ديل، لأنه الكهرباء ده كهرباء المهم في الأسماء، ويلا هسه باقياتات يعني لو سلك جاو يكون فوقه قطع كده زي الناس العربية ما في زول بيصلوا، كاملوا كيف عشان تيجي عشان يكون الشغل بالوراء بتاع السرقات ديل، الناس بيعرفوا كيف يعني طريقة عشان يكون الناس فوكسين في شنو؟ في الكلام بقول يعني نعمل الكونكشن، والناس اللي بعمل الكونكشن ده ما فوق انجينير ما يقدر عند سميته يتكلم علينا مشينا في اتجاه كده وصلنا في الكهرباء في كل حياة وكل بيوت دارين الكهرباء.
نعم شكرا.
يلقى الكهرباء يعني طريقة.
شكرا جزيلا أستاذ Tolfolk. Now, for the interest of our discussion, allow me now to, welcome that's Dr. Engineer Dr. Isaac, who is the regional coordinator, Nile SAP. Though late, it's good that finally you made it with us right here. Welcome to the studio of iRadio.
Thank you.
And briefly, how does this power project initiative of 10 Nile Basin countries is actually going to, work for the development of the region?
Thank you so much, and sorry for the delay. But I'm sure my colleague must have shed a lot of light on the importance and the benefits of this project. But in general, this project is very important for the people of South Sudan, because basically it's going to open up South Sudan to regional trading in terms of the East African power pool, and also provide increase the access to electricity. As you know, South Sudan access to electricity is basically around 7%, and this will come in handy to increase the percentage of people accessing power. And you are aware that also the cost of electricity in South Sudan is very high. I believe right now it's about 4 cents dollars per kilowatt, and this, with the coming of this project, the people will be able now to pay 0.09 cents dollars per kilowatt, and this is nearly 75% reduction in the cost of electricity. So this actually should inspire industrial and economic development, socio-economic development, because even the social amenities, hospitals, schools will be able now to be lit up. The homes will be lit up. And this is all about development of our country and of our people. This is very important. And in terms of regional benefits, of course, South Sudan by itself, when they develop their potential, they'll easily now be able also to trade with other countries if they have excess power from the other cascade. I think there are 5 dams. If developed, they should be able to also sell off excess power. But beyond that, in terms of bilateral integration, this project should be able to spur regional integration, and particularly the relationship between Uganda and Kenya, because when you trade, you increase friendship, and this is important for coexistence and cooperation, and that's why we are there as NELSAP.
Yes, Dr. Isaac, if you look at the budgeted figure for this project is $260 million US.
Yes.
And people are saying South Sudan is having hydro potential. Why not developing our own instead of importing powers from neighboring countries as the regional coordinator?
First, as I said, the infrastructure itself, by connecting Uganda to South Sudan, opens up South Sudan. And even if you develop your own hydropower, you will need this infrastructure for transmission, distribution to your people. Number two, the cost of implementing those identified potential hydropower potential for the people of South Sudan, it's the cost associated with that is more higher, much higher than the 260 that we are talking about. So this is a start. And this now should open up the country to develop its own potential once you have the infrastructure. Because even if you develop the dams, you would still need the infrastructure.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Isaac, we have seen multi-million dollar projects
Yes.
in the country. We covered it, but at the end of the day,
Yes.
it died, a natural death.
Yes.
What are some of the strategies in place to make sure that this project does not also die the same way?
Well, I don't know the strategy that the country had put up before, but you realize this is a regional project.
No?
It has a number of stakeholders, what you call the multi-layered stakeholders. When you have a number of interested stakeholders, then people are careful how they handle issues. At the same time, we are there as NELSAP because we are the regional institution of the countries to ensure that the project is implemented and realized. And that's why we are coordinating between the two countries. And besides that, we are actually also providing technical backstopping to the South Sudan Electricity Corporation. So our role is to make sure that this is realized, and it must be realized.
And when?
We are hopeful that between August or October we should start this, have the construction starting. We hope things will move as per our timelines, and the project should run for 5 years once the construction starts. Yes.
All right, Dr. Engineer Jacob, you heard it from Tolfuk, and that's a caller who called himself Joseph Khonyi. Gala Jad Bita Junub and Lohan Guanasu, Junub would be another different world altogether. But again, people are not walking the talk. So, what's happening?
شكرا خالص في أسئلة كتير الجمن ناس كتير
مستمعين
كتير من برا لا دواو لكن أنا بجاوبه بإنجليزي. أنا أعرف من قاعد أفهم إنجليزي ومن بكلم بعربي.
قدم.
Thank you so much. You know, somebody asked that why Uganda and not Ethiopia? That is one question. And he's asking why the Ethiopia South Sudan power interconnection project has not started, and he's saying that the cheapest electricity rates are found in Ethiopia. That one I will answer. Another one is rotating around why are we not developing our hydro potential when we already have more than Uganda, instead of actually importing from Uganda. Another question is you talk but you don't do anything.
Implementation part of it.
Implementation. Starting from the question of Ethiopia having the cheapest tariff rates, electricity rates in the region, yes, it is true. It has the cheaper rates, but not the cheapest, because Egypt has the cheapest, Kenya also have the cheapest, depending on the energy source that is generating power in a country. And so, what I can answer on that is that the latest communication we've had with South Sudan Electricity Corporation is that the Ethiopia South Sudan power interconnection project is also at the feasibility study stages. The two utilities are implementing these projects, and South Sudan is interested to bring NELSAP on board to coordinate. As I had told you, when you have a neutral body on the projects, it makes the project move faster. But otherwise, it's an initiative of the two countries. They are moving with it, and this one will bring also cheaper energy. It is the same range that the energy rates in Uganda are. The one of Ethiopia is in the same range with the one of Uganda, and so we are going to import cheaper rates from both countries. Even there is another project in our plan that is Logechogyo Kapoita us on the side of Kenya. We are actually having a program to integrate the region. South Sudan, if I come back to the question of why we are not developing our potential resources, these are in-country projects. And if the country requests that NBI and other regional bodies can help them, we can intervene. But for now, it is actually a national plan that we don't know when South Sudan is going to start developing one of its hydro potential. And as I just mentioned, it's important to have short-term, medium, and long-term plan. This project is going to be medium term. Short terms are thermal, hydro, that are killing people in terms of electricity rates in the country, especially in Juba City. And so regional integration, regional interconnected networks are going to help us as we develop our hydro potential. To the viewers, to the listeners of iRadio, I want to advise that, it's better to try than just sitting. If we just sit and wait for hydro potential along the Nile to develop itself, it cannot come.
All right.
So let's develop the infrastructure as we also implement the plan.
All right.
That are put in place.
Engineer Dr. Isaac, we
Thank
are
you.
almost coming to the end of our conversation, but let's talk about the 260 million. Is it a loan? Who is behind these resources, if you can put it very clearly to South Sudanese?
Thank you so much. I must say that the South Sudan people are lucky, because out of these $260 million, Uganda is actually acquiring a loan of about 148 million. The difference is most of it is actually a grant to the people of South Sudan. And out of this amount, we still have a financing gap of about 31 million US dollars, which we are still resource mobilizing. But the balance from that, it has actually been extended to the people of South Sudan by the European Union, a grant of about 50 million US dollars, and about $25 million grant from the African Development Bank. So this is free money being given to the people of South Sudan. They will not repay that money.
All right.
Yeah.
Finally, your messages, the people of Juba and South Sudan are expecting to celebrate that Nile Day right here. What's your take? Final messages. We are coming to the end of our conversation.
My final message is that South Sudan embrace the Nile as a river, and we actually tap the resources that are coming along with the Nile. And the celebration signifies that we are happy to have it as a natural resource, in which South Sudan is in the center of it. And so I would wish that South Sudanese embrace the idea of the Nile Basin initiatives, having the Nile and develop its resources. And so as we are in the center, we should make use of it to develop our hydro potential resources and the water resources along the Nile.
Thank you so much, Engineer Jacob Nai, Engineer Dr. Isaac. As the region is looking forward to connect South Sudan with power, cheaper power, what's your central message to those who are listening to you at the moment?
Now, my central message to the listeners is that regional integration and cooperation is very important for the uniform development of the region and driving the benefits, particularly from the Nile that connects 10 countries and supports livelihood for over 300 million people. So we need to grow together, not leaving anybody behind. And this is the importance of the Nile to us and the regional integration.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Jacob, for coming, and Engineer Dr. Isaac as well. Up to here, dear listener, we have officially come to the end of our conversation. We do invite you again tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. I'll be in your host, Madrama Jamison. Big thanks to Abacho Kushagawa, the producer of Sundown.